Hello, Tamatsu is here, and 10th of June was 2 years since I uploaded the first video on this channel, so happy birthday my channel, woohoo! And to celebrate it today, we are going to redraw an artwork from that very first video, which is a portrait of Ayana, Yandere Sim's main character. I already made a redraw last year, and so it must be pretty interesting to look at the progress I made. But before we move on, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe on my channel and hit the bell. Also follow me on my fanart and Twitter, all links in description, and let's go! So I'm starting by creating a new file in Krita. I put measurements similar to A4 size paper. That's the measurements I use when I draw literally anything digitally. And also I put 400 pixels per inch as resolution. Recently I started experimenting with resolution a lot because I noticed that my computer is too weak to handle 600, but it handles 300 very well, and now I want to find how much it can actually handle, because 300 it's like the bare minimum, 600 is just too much for it. I just want to find the comfortable resolution both for me and for my computer. I also chose the background color light blue because I want it to be just like in that first speed paint, and for sketching I'm taking that brown reddish color and that crayon tool that was in the brush set I recently uploaded. This brush set also adds lots of watercolor typed brushes that I of course don't use because my style is just not for using those brushes, but recently I really wanted to add some textures in my drawings, and I hope that I will find a way to do so. With this tool I'm sketching the pose now, and the stage is usually the longest after the cleanup stage itself. And long time before I actually started drawing, I decided that the posing should be clear and very dynamic. I'm not sure if I archived either of those points, but it definitely should be better than the last two drawings I did. So while figuring out the certain details, I changed the position of Ayano's hand and knife a few times, and I also add lots of dynamic details, like for example her hair or her skirt, or maybe her flowing uniform color that I removed later because it felt very unnecessary. And when I'm done with clothing, I start adding details. For example, I'm drawing Ayano's eyes, and I did not finish right one because I planned to cover it with hair, and this is actually like a very cheap trick if you don't want to draw or just can't draw both eyes symmetrically. But now I'm doing it only because it was in the original drawing. Actually, I never was like really afraid to draw, seeing that many artists actually afraid to draw like second eye or hands in difficult positions. I'm not saying it always ended up being perfect, but I didn't resist drawing them. Also, I'm adding some details that can make the picture at least a bit more dynamic, but in reality it just looks like a wind blowing on character standing in just static pose. Looking back at the drawing process itself now, during editing, I think that's really what those rare anime fanarts from me became. It's just some static poses with some dynamic details. So now when I'm finally decided on sketch, I'm putting on some flat colors. I don't make it very difficult. First, because the character's color palette is pretty simple itself, and secondly because it's much easier for me to match colors from scratch. The only time I actually opened the reference is for background, and now looking back at 2 years later at my first drawing, it looks very cringy, even especially when you don't look at it for a very long amount of time. I haven't seen it, I haven't paid any attention to it for like a year at least, because when I drew the 2020 drawing, I don't remember if I ever used the reference then. So anyway, the process of putting colors relatively simple and quick, and now it comes to the hardest part, merge preparation. And all difficult here comes from my complete inability to just put some random blobs of color anywhere. So to give it at least a bit of that random blob look, I put some blush on Ayana's cheeks, some white on sleeves, some yellow on top of the hair to make it look like lighting, and also I later hand paint the whole silhouette with purple and orange to make it look more diverse in colors. After that I torch the background a bit and it's cleanup time, which is the longest part of the drawing process for me, and to be honest there is almost nothing to say about it. I just clean up the drawing, sometimes put on more color blobs if needed, sometimes add shadows. See, there's nothing to tell about, maybe except the moment when I accidentally merged the background and character layers and had to deal with it. And now, when cleanup is over, I put some final touches on my work, like adding stripes on her uniform, adding some more color blobs, and finishing it with some gradients, just like in the last year. I decided to put orange and blue one and black and white one, just so it will emphasize the light and dark spots on background. Then I fooled around a bit more because I couldn't decide if it needs something else or if it's enough frosting, and basically I'm done. Yeah! So yeah, that's it, that's the final result. Oh my god, I completely forgot how cringy it actually looks now 2 years later. Anyway, here you can see the results. Thank you for watching that video, leave a like, subscribe to my channel and follow me on my DeviantArt, all links in description. Thank you for watching, wait for new videos in the future and goodbye!